Hello out there, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a follow-up for the 66mm Megaman thingy. This one I ordered from eBay from a seller called Radar Toys. They had it for the same price that GameStop had and free shipping, so I figured why not. And I guess now is the best time to make my correction. I thought that this was a straight-up blind box series, but it turns out that the top has the name of the character that's inside. I failed to notice this, mostly because, you know, there's like Japanese text all over the box, so I didn't even really bother to read it because I didn't know that it would be there. Although now I look at it, there is a lot more English language on this box than normal. They obviously did make it for American distribution, so it's not a straight up import toy. Anyway, so this one should definitely be the proper original Mega Man. And it's not opening as easy as X did. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, there he is. Alright, let's get him out of the packaging and take a look at the figure proper. And so here is the Mega Man figure with some assembly required, taken out of the packaging. So, holding it up to the little ruler, we can see that it holds up to the 66mm rule just fine. And let's address a couple little flaws with the figure. First of all, this little sprue is what the hands came on. It looks like they were molded on this sprue and then they were spray painted blue, as you can see from the overspray. This means that when you remove them from the sprue, you have scarring on the gloves, and underneath is a beige skin tone. This is not good. These should have just been cast in blue plastic because, you know, Mega Man's hands don't have any color variants, so there was no reason to use any other color than blue for this. So, unfortunately, that is an unfortunate flaw in that you have a very obvious scar. Aside from that, just like with the X figure, the articulation is fantastic. He has a very expressive ball-jointed head, ball-jointed shoulders, a bicep swivel, and a 90-degree elbow. Although on the bicep swivel on this figure is significantly tighter than the one on X. Although it doesn't have a propensity to fall off like the other one did, so that's cool. He has a waist joint down here. It's a tight little waist joint too. Ball jointed hips that have quite a lot of range. Except backwards because it is sculpted the butt. Knees that get significantly beyond 90. Look at that. Look at that deep ass bend. That is a really deep bend. I don't think there's bootcut articulation, but he does have really good ball jointed ankles with a lot of range in all directions. So that's also good. So yeah, check that out. Yeah. Okay, so let's get in on sculpt and paint detailing. They went with an action-oriented face with a grimace for him. It looks a little bit weird and asymmetrical. Like, I feel like they should have shifted just a bit to the side, but you know, this still kind of works. You know, I actually would have just preferred a more neutral expression because when you give yourself a battle face, you can't really have them stand idle and look good. The Mega Buster is actually pretty well painted with that bright yellow painted into the inlay and the little red part inside the gun, with just the tiniest little bit of overspray right there, but it's almost invisible, so he actually fared quite a bit better. Now Mega Man has a very simple color scheme, so there's not much to mess up. Although they did kind of underspray his crotch. There's a little bit of the light blue color showing through, but it's not too bad. And then going down to his legs, he has a very, very vibrant blue, and you know, it just looks pretty great. Considering the minuscule size of the toy, it's actually really fantastic. He comes with an alternate hand. It is, of course, the hand that you use to brace against his Mega Buster. Let's the wrists are really tightly plugged in on this one. Actually, let me do this off camera. There we go. So as you can see, that hand pretty much exists for the sole purpose of bracing against the Mega Buster, just like with X. Because like, it's kind of too weirdly splayed out to be a casual hand. Although I suppose you can do it for his standard victory pose. You know, like that. Although it does look kind of weird to have him do his victory pose with the angry grimace, which is why I wish for a more neutral facial expression. So yeah, overall the figure's really good. He comes with his one transparent accessory. In his case, it is an E-Tank, which I'm holding upside down. Yeah, there we go, E-Tank. There is an E sculpted on there. I don't know why they made this out of transparent plastic. It was probably just part of a gimmick. It looks pretty good with the swoosh effect for X, but on the E-Tank, this really needed some paint. But whatever, it's just a tiny little accessory meant to be an extra. Alright, so let's get in some comparisons. Let's give Mega Man a more neutral stance and then start comparing other figures you might want to have him near. So here is the Mega Man next to the Sonic figure. Of course, this is what I would want them for, so that you could have a nice Worlds Collide setup. And, you know, it kind of works. He's a little bit undersized, but not extremely so. He's at least eye to eye with Sonic. And you know, like if we're going by my official measurements, where you keep classic Sonic 3'6", and that makes modern Sonic about 4 feet tall, then well, actually it makes him like 4'10" or 4'11", almost 5 feet tall. Of course, that's based on generation scaling and assuming they didn't retcon. So let's not get into an argument about that in the comments. What I'm trying to get at is that this actually kind of works if through certain definitions of how Sonic is supposed to be scaled. So I think it's a pretty decent thing to put next to a Sonic figure on display. And this might actually be the best Mega Man figure that you could get at an American retail price without having to import it. Or, like, I'm pretty sure some people will talk about a D-Art or SH Figure Art, but come on, dudes, that figure's gonna cost 40 bucks. This Jazzwares figure in its heyday cost 12, so... Alright, so comparing him to other stuff, I put him on this little stand so that, you know, because it's enhancing Sonic's height too. Here he is compared to X. As you can see, this X figure is barely taller than him. So it just doesn't scale right. You can tell by how much smaller X's head is than Mega Man's. Like, if X's head was the same size as Mega Man's, then he'd clearly be at least this tall, which, you know, it's like, because X is supposed to be like an almost adult-sized person, while Mega Man is supposed to be child-sized, so, yeah, this scaling just doesn't quite work right, even though they're the same line. Bringing out the Mega Man Amiibo, and you see, well, look at that. He's actually, in fact, the same height as the Amiibo. It's just that the Amiibo is proportioned differently, given the original video game proportions with the giant head, whereas this is obviously based more on, like, say, box art stuff. So, you know, just throwing that out there, giving you an idea of how big this figure truly is. And why not my Mega Man custom, which I made out of the Toy Biz figure. Little bit shorter than my modifications to the Toy Biz figure, which I specifically made to be the same height as a Sonic figure, but, you know, it's just kind of funny. Like, what the heck is that? What's with those, with those upside down mutton chops? I don't want to talk about it. Alright, so that's a comparison of Mega Man to various figures that you might want to stand him next to, and, that's my review of the figure. I really like it. It's so cool. So, yeah, you can pick these up at GameStops. Like I said, this specific one came at Radar Toys. And you can pick your favorite Mega Man by reading the top of the box where his name will be. And yes, there is a Chase figure. I will talk about the Chase figure over a picture because some people mentioned it. I did know about it, but I guess it bears actually noting.